Hi everybody, this is Clarine from In Reenie's Room, and today we're going to be making a sunflower shaker gift box. And this is what it looks like. It has a little shaker in the middle so you can have the glitter moving around. This measures about 3.5 by 6.5. It's 1 inch wide, and it has the wood paneling on there. This is a belly band that you just slide off. It says thanks a bunch. You can put any kind of sentiment on it that you want, but I just chose that one. And then you open it up and fill it up with some kind of goodies. And I used M&Ms. So just put that back in there. Then you slide the belly band back on. Whoops. There you go. You slide the belly band back on. And there you have it. Okay, so let's get started. I'll set this to the side. So to make this, we're going to be using a brown cardstock. It takes one sheet that is 8.5 by 11. Then the belly band, you'll cut a piece that's 2 inches by 9.5. And for these panels, you'll cut 2 that are 3.25 by 6.25, and then you'll cut 1 that is 1.25 by 6.25. And this is going to be for the lid, and we're going to round those edges, but I'll show you when we get there. All right, so let's move all this stuff aside for a minute. Instead of showing you how to make the box and all of the cutouts, I'm switching to a lighter colored paper just to make it more clear. So what we're going to do is bring it into your scoreboard. With the 8.5 inch at the top, you're going to score at 1 all the way down, reverse it all the way over to the other side, and you're going to score at 1 all the way down that side. Then you'll put the 11 inch side up at the top, and you're going to score at 3.5, 4.5, 8, and 9. And that's all there is to that. Now when we do the cutting, sorry, I dropped my die, which I'm going to need. Let me grab that off the floor. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that, but I'm going to need that die. So we're going to cut out this backing. Now, I want to, before you do that, you fold and burnish all your edges. This one as well. All those score lines. Fold and burnish. Now with the lid side, which is the smaller section here at the top, you'll have the wider front at the bottom here. I want you to hold it in this position and then just turn it so that this thicker side is on the left. And what we're going to do is form your tabs. So you'll cut up to that first fold line, score line like that. Fold that in, and then we're just going to clip the corners just a tiny bit so that when you form your box, you don't have a big thickness there in the corners. And then you'll come over here, do the same thing. This time it's on the right. You clip up to that first line, turn it back, fold this over. These are the sides of your box. And then you're going to take that tab and just take off like 1/8 of an inch there. There we go. Then I'm going to turn it completely around. And on this side, we're going to form our tab by cutting all the way up to that second line. See this second score line? So you're going to cut all the way up to there. Turn it. Cut off this whole section here. And then you have your second tab. And we'll just clip the corners. Some people call it mitering. Just gets the thickness out. Then you're going to come over here and do the same thing. You're going to cut up to the second score line. Turn and just clip off that whole corner. There we go. Oops. There's your tab, and then you'll just clip up just like the other ones. Alrighty. So then that's starting to form our box. Now this is going to be the lid up here. And what you want to do is round those corners. So I'm going to use the larger 10 millimeter and just round those two corners. Like that. And then these are going to start folding up when we start putting our box together. Your tabs, you put your glue here, and then it's going to fit right on this edge. You put the score line right up next to the straight line. And we're going to do that on all 4 tabs. I just want to show you how this is going to go together. Those will become the side, and then those will go down, and then that'll be your lid. Now, one other thing you're going to do is you're going to add 2 lines of 1/4 inch score tape to these 2 sides. Not where the lid is, but this opposite wider side. And you're going to have 2 of them. They're going to go right down here on both sides. I already did that first one. Do one here, one here, right on the edges. This is going to form the sides of your box. And then don't forget to burnish, always burnish your score tape. All right, so that is, I hope, very clear. And we'll get rid of that. And bring up the one that I already did ahead of time. Doesn't that look better than that other one with all the marks on it? Okay, so these are the strips that we had added. Before we start constructing this is going to be the inside where the strips are. So flip it over, and we're going to add those panels before we form the box. And I'll set the belly band there. And I'm just using regular glue. I like this art glitter glue, so that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be putting the lid up there, and you just center them in the middle. I used just these little Cali markers. They're just colored pins to get the color. I didn't want white on here, so I outlined all of my panel pieces with a little Cali marker. So let me go ahead and glue those on. Remember to be sure and get the corners whenever you're gluing. You want to be sure that the corners have glue. And then you just coat the rest of this like that. And I'll center this right like that. Get a little glue, like I have some glue showing over here on the left. Don't worry about it, just smear it in with the rest of the glue because it does dry clear. Thank goodness. Alright, do There's that piece. And I'll do this piece. I kind of like to make almost like a Christmas tree up in the corners, just because I hate it when they turn up later on. Not right away, but you can always tell if corners are skipped. And down here. And then just center that here. Now I printed up my wood paneling from a digital kit that I had got, again, off of Creative Fabricia, and brought it into Photoshop and cut out to the measurements that I had already given you. I like it. We have a lot of choices on that channel. Now I'll put the lid on. And I also want to tell you that the original directions, measurements for making the box came from Julie, who is the Paper Pixie. She has lots of clever things on her site. So I went there to get the directions for measurements for this little box. And this goes centered right there. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to put this together. I'm going to do the tabs first, and you just fold those over. And I put a little strip of where the fold is, because that's where you want to have them very snug. It just looks better. Put that glue there. And then we're just going to bring it up, making sure that that score line matches up with the straight line. Just hold it in place for a second. And do the other one. Like that, and just hold it in place. And I'm going to flip this over because that top one, the first one that I did, I didn't give it enough time to stick. So I'm going to do this down here, making sure that fold is, the score line is on where it's supposed to be, and then I'll burnish this a little bit. Same over here. This was that first one that I did. Hold it in place, and then I'll burnish it so that it holds. And then we'll do the other two. Just put that in there. This side. This time I'll give it a little more time. Slow down. Go, and I'll burnish that. And then our final corner goes right in there. And burnish that. Okey-doke. Now we're ready to do the sides. The sides are going to come straight up here and over so that they fall in line with this edge and this edge. So I'm going to take the score tape off. I have to do it on both sides at the same time. Because you can't get down in there with your fingers. Here. Okay. Then I'm just going to hold that lid out of my way for a minute. Bring that over. Before I put any pressure on it, I want to make sure that it goes all the way to that outer edge. There we go. You can feel it popping in there where it's supposed to. And Put a little bit of pressure on there just to hold it. While you come over here, do the same thing. Not too much tape, so I'll just tuck it in. You let it, make sure that this edge goes all the way to the back fold. There we go. Right like that. Then I'm going to come inside and do a little bit of burnishing here, because that's up. Okay. Oopsie. What did I do there? Okay, now we're going to put our belly band on there. So I'll put that there. This is a belly band that we're going to make. All right, now let me show you what I did wrong. This second set of tabs that were at the top, you don't glue those. I glued mine. That's why my lid won't pop up. So when you glue these, you glue the bottom ones only. Don't glue the top ones. I wasn't paying attention and I glued my top one on like that and my lid wouldn't open. So don't do that. You want to leave those top ones that are up by the lid free, because then those just fold in. See how I did that wrong? I had glued them all down, and so then I had a box that wouldn't open. So I just tore this up to show you. Don't do that. Okay, so let's move on and we'll make our belly band. This is that strip that you had already scored. So it's going to fold up around your box like this. And we're going to glue that together. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the top part here. Loosely bring it over and just let it attach like that. And I'm going to let it set while we're making the sunflower. Just leave that off to the side for a minute. There's our correct box right there. There we go. All right, so to make this flower, we are going to use two photos of the sunflower. And what I did was I took several flowers that I liked off of Creative Fabric, brought them into Photoshop and made one big one because I wanted a big circular one. And we're going to be cutting these out. There's two things that we need. We need a 2-inch die and also a 2.5-inch die. So let's do this one first. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the 2-inch die, center it on your sunflower, bring it into my big shot, and just cut it out. Okay, so then what you have is a flower with a hole in the middle. So I want you to fussy cut this whole area out. And then I did mine ahead of time. So then you'll have, looks a little bit like a sun, huh? Okay, so that's going to be the flower. Now behind it, with this one, we're going to take the larger die. This is the 2.5 inch. That's going to go right in here in the center. I'm holding that down with just Post-it tape because it comes up easily. Now I'm going to run that through my shot. You can throw this part away because we're all done with that. What we're going to be using is the circle that you cut out. That's going to be the back for our shaker part. And something else that you're going to need on the back of this is a clear circle. Now I saved these pieces of paper. This is the clear back that comes off of a pad. You know, if you buy a pad of papers, they always have that clear in the back just to put them on, I guess. Anyway, it's not like cardstock. It's heavier, but it's not like chipboard. It's somewhere in the middle. So I save those for times like this when I want a little extra strength to hold something together. So I'm going to take this larger die and I'm going to cut out one of these. That's going to give us a little stability for our sunflower because I don't want it to be droopy. So I'll just take this out. And that's all the need the dies for, so I'll set that over here. Alright, so this is how we're going to construct this. I'm going to glue the white circle that I just cut out to the back of the other 2.5 inch circle. And this is just to give it some extra strength, a little stability, because we're going to be putting a dome on that and all your glitter. So I'll just glue that on here. Like that. Alright, so we'll set that over there. Now, we're going to be putting the circle there. This is going to go behind it. But in the middle is where we're going to put the dome. It's going to go like that. That's going to hold your glitter. Now before we put the dome down, you want to take an anti-static bag. And these I got at Amazon. You just swish it around on the plastic, mostly on the inside, just so that you can cut down on some of the static when you put your glitter in there. So just like that. And we'll set it down here for a second. We'll bring in some glitter. And I just picked a bunch of little glitter in the gold colors, touch of black, just to stay in my color scheme. And I'm just going to take a pinch and put it in the middle of that 2.5 inch circle. And then I'll put some stars. Now you don't want to get too much in there because you don't want to hide your flower, but you want to have enough action so that you can see the glitter moving around. So you just kind of estimate what you think about a third is going to be. And let's put in a couple hearts. There we go. Staying in the center as best you can, because they do like to bounce around. Get this star out of there because that's where the glue is going to be. See, I'm just trying to stay in the center. And then I'm just going to put a touch of black Whoa, look at those guys roll around. Okay, well that's all they get. All right, so I'll put this over here. There we go. All right. Now, whoops. These little black things, I'm going to be stepping on them the rest of the day, I know it. Okay, so we're going to take our dome, and I got these at Amazon. This is a 2-inch size. And there's a little plastic strip under here, so I'm just lifting it up. And that's going to stick down onto this bigger circle, and you just put it in the middle. Once you lay that down, it's going to stick, so stay as close to the middle as you can get. There you go. And just press around that circle, and it's already to stick, and then boom. Now you can see the difference. See how you can see the center of that sunflower? And there's your sparkle glitter that you did. When I did mine originally, I didn't use the static pad. And look at how much sticks around there. So there is a difference in using that static pad. So they're well worth it for having in your stash. All right, so now we're going to put a ring of glue around here. Actually, I think I'm going to put it around here. I'm going to glue this circle onto that. And I think it would be better, be better to glue the back side of this. And also I want to add a little bit of, use this again to kind of get that white. I want that white gone. And I don't remember if I told you, but when you're using these little markers, if you have the right side facing up, there's less chance of getting that effect on your colored part. See how you can see where the ink is going. You just kind of tilt your pen. Okay. I'll put that up there. And I'm just going to do one single row of glue just around that area. And I'm just going to give it a half second to kind of start to set. I don't want it to gush out into my dome. Oh my gosh, I've got these little black beads running everywhere. So funny. Okay. But it looks good in there, kind of breaks up the gold. Anyway, so now this, I'm going to just set it down and put that around the dome. Try not to get any glue on the dome. It does dry clear, but it's plastic and you'll always be able to see a part of it. So I'm just going to press that down. In the middle. There we go. And don't worry about this little bit of glue here that popped out because it will dry clear. Let's give it a little bit of time. Okay, so there you have it. Got the backing that's nice and sturdy, and there's the front, and then we're going to wait for that glue to dry and it'll be clear. Okay, now I also wanted to put a little sentiment on there, so I made some of these up. I cut them out. I'm going to use another strip of that white paper that I cut the 2.5-inch circle out of, just to add some strength to the back so that my sentiment doesn't curl up. So I'll put some glue on my sentiment. And I made some other sentiments that were very similar, but one of them says, thinking of you, you could do a happy birthday. There's really no end to it. So I'm going to put this on here. Push that down. And just cut this out. And then I'm going to attach that to the underside of my branch. And I like to use 3M tape to do that because I can get a long strip. You can use pop-ups, and I have used pop-ups before, but I like this for longer things. And that's kind of wide, so I'm going to cut off just a little bit. Don't need all that width. Cut that off there. Press that down. And this is just regular 3M mounting tape for pictures and whatnot. And it's sticky. Take that off. And I'm going to just put this right down here. Whoops. That. Now I have some leaf dies, so I cut out a bunch of those, and I'm going to glue a couple on the back side. I think I'll put 2 here, like that, and then a couple up there. So let me put some glue on here. Just go up a little ways. And I'm gluing it on the back. And I'll just slide it out a little bit. Goes like that. And I'll do another one. Come on, glue. My little glue is getting stuck. Here we go. And I'll put that down here. And then 2 more. And these were, I've had them for so long I'm not even sure where I got them. They came in a big bunch of leaves together. I use them a lot. And I'll put that one there. One more, and we're almost done there. Well, I kind of apologize for gluing that tab in the wrong place, but that'll be a nice lesson for you of what not to do, because I sure like to make mistakes for my friends, so you know what not to do. All right, so that is going to go right on here, and I am going to attach this one with the pop-ups, just because I want to make a circle of them instead of going straight. So I'll put one in the middle. Oopsie. And put some around that. I want to make sure, yeah, that's there. I don't want to go too far out to the edge and not have it attached to the band itself. But this looks good. And it looks like I used 5, which I think is going to be okay. Mash those down a bit. Then I'm going to slide. I think I'll attach this first so I can put pressure on the back of it. And checking to see that it's kind of centered. Like that, and just make sure that the pop-ups are not showing. They're okay. So I'm just going to apply some pressure and set those dots. Okay, look at that. Oh, I can tell the biggest, that static little pad really makes a big difference. So then you just slide this. I think I'll slide it this way. And you know what? I think that sentiment could have gone at a different angle. But I'm going to leave it like this anyway. And there you have your sunflower shaker gift box. Put it right there. Alrighty. Thank you so much for stopping by.